Okay, they can go back because they knew that everything they said was not exactly a lie, but fantasy. It's like I told you before, you know, I just didn't pull these names out the air when I told you there are two types of hikers. I said there is the lone wolf and there's the chameleon. I mean, what is a chameleon? A chameleon is an animal that can change, you know, take upon the form of anything they want, you know, and I told you before, I don't think it's fake. You got to take everything in context, okay? And really, what kind of relationship can you have with a chameleon? These people know that you don't know them. They're telling you everything they want you to know, and at the same time, they're gelling and they're meshing. I mean, you can have quorums with somebody. People can have problems, but when you're in the trail and you know, hey, I'm on vacation, you can forget that. You can look over all these things because you know it's only temporary, and you can just see the good. You know, it's like they say, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. Why is that? Because it's Sin City. People know they're gonna get drunk. They're gonna do this. They're gonna do that, and they can let their inhibitions down and get into whatever. And it's the same way on the trail, you know. And some of this stuff is unconscious. You don't see it happening, but it's still there. It doesn't mean that it's not happening. Granted, I've been there for over 20 years. I see things now. I mean, it's like I can write a book on it. Actually, I have. But you can see it. But the thing about the trail is it's real. You know, it's more than the military, and it's more than you know, any kind of institution, because with institutions, people raise their hand. They swear an oath. They got some idea of what's coming down the trail. I mean, it'll hit you so blind. It'll hit you so blind. And then, you know, you can sit back and you see these things unfolding. And I guess in a sense, I'm taking a degree of risk, and I have to be conscious about what I say and if I drop names and things of that nature, because I mean, it's public record, yes, but at the same time, you don't want to impose on people's lives. Like, for example, Spitfire. I'm only going to say so much about that, and I'll never use her real name, you know. But at the same time, I am trying to show you something, and so there has to be a degree of truth enough where you can hear and sense what I'm saying. But you know what? Getting back on that, because I'm starting to babble. I've been on the trail, like I said, for over 20 years. 20 years, and out of that whole time, I can tell you about 50 million people, but I can only refer to them as their trail name, because that's how I knew them. That little tale about Bramble, that was his trail name. It had something to do with a pine cone or something. I don't know. But the thing is, 20 years, and I can't give you one real name, with the exception of Spitfire. And even that, I mean, the exception is what? Okay, yeah, I stayed on the trail a little bit longer. I thru-hiked. I probably spent more time with her than any other time solely on the trail hiking with people. But you know, you got to factor in proximity with that. What do I mean? Well, okay, we were at Delaware Water Gap. I left town to go wash I left the hostel, the Jesuit, whatever. I went there to wash my clothes, and I left my wallet. So I'm like, hey, Spitfire, I need you to bring my wallet down here, get in the cab, because, you know. So naturally, what girl's not going to take some guy's wallet and go through it? Did she? I'm sure she did. I didn't accuse her or anything, but my driver's license there, my ID's there. She knows everything about me. You tell me my blood type, who knows? And there are situations where we pull into town, she's exhausted, and be like, here's my credit card, go get us a room. I'm like, okay, so that's your name. I mean, you know, you're gonna, the proximity's there. Okay, there's gonna be things where you're gonna mesh and you're gonna see things, but it's only because in these situations that eventually you get to know them. And you know, there were instances where, actually, on the 4th of July, we went out to her sister's house. And you know, when you get off trail and you do things like that, okay, granted, you're going to get to know them. But for me, that was a new experience. Trail 20 times, and this is the first fresh experience, something like that. And it was a new experience for me. And maybe that's how it is for everybody else. So you got to understand, this is my perspective, and this is my perspective as a minority. And I'm not hyping on that, but maybe some people won't open up to me in the same way they would open up to someone else. You know, Eddie Murphy did a skit years ago on Saturday Night Live where he dressed up like he was a white guy, and he got on the bus, and man, that skit is awesome. If you can YouTube that, go ahead. I couldn't tell you too much about it, but it was like night and day. You know, he's like, now I'm a white guy, and these people like, hey, what's up, friend? No, actually, before that happened, the only black guy on the bus gets off the bus. So now Eddie Murphy's sitting there, and he's this white guy, and everybody just starts partying. Hey, And he's like, wow, so it's like this. I mean, I don't know. I hope I'm not, I know I'm battling, but I hope I'm not offending anybody or getting off point. But what I'm trying to say is my perspective is my perspective. I can only tell you so much about the trail, and it don't make it right. It's like through my eyes, and my eyes could be tainted based on the image that people are showing me, you know? Okay, did I cover what I wanted to cover about relationships? What happens on the trail stays on the trail. Yeah, you know, at the end of the day, let your spouse do whatever the hell they want to do. I mean, I'm not going to say what you don't know won't hurt you, but in this case, all it's going to do is enrich your relationship. I mean, the amount of anxiety, the amount of, you know, like I said, this trail is, don't get me wrong, I said the trail is, you know, like a combat zone. But at the same time, when you walk away, when you leave that, it's like coming out of a cold wash, a cold shower. You had this experience where you could role play for like 6 months. I mean, that is something beautiful. You know what I'm saying? And so when you walk back, it's like, and I guess that's the allure, because sometimes you need that. You have to lose yourself for a second and then come back in this original sin, this reality, and it just slaps you in the face. And it's funny because it's like taking a piece of elastic or like a rubber band. You know, and when you're on the trail, you can actually hold it. You know, it's cool. You can like take that tension and give it away for a second. But the minute you step off that trail, the minute your phone rings and it's your boss, or the minute you start fishing for your car keys and you put your you know, you like open the door to your house for that first time, it rebands and it just comes so fast. Snap! You know what I mean? And the last thing you would expect is somebody to call your house and be like, hey, butterfly moon, or hey, jet blue. And you're like, what the, you know what I'm saying? It'll totally take you off guard. Now, there are some genuine friendships. Now, this is what I'm trying to say. Generally, when you cross over with the whole sexual thing, it'll change. You will change it. You know what I'm saying? But you know, you may make genuine friendships that will survive the trail. And generally, the old school people, you know, 40 and up, when you exchange emails and stuff with them, and like I said, I'm not talking about the whole sex thing, but when you call these people, they're more down to earth. You know, they're pretty much cool with it. You talk to them, they'll talk to you back. It's like, hey, what's up? Hey, what's up? You know what I'm saying? You have somewhat of a relationship there. As far as me and when I was playing the father role with this one girl I was hiking with, since we didn't cross that barrier, there was a connection there, but the connection was more on her end than mine, only because I knew, you know. So now I'm back in the real world, and I'm getting all these emails, and she's blowing my phone up, and I'm like, you know, I think one day I was a little bit short, and I said, dude, you know, what did I say? My exact words were what did I say? Snap out of it. What did I say? I said, give me a second, and I'm just wasting time. Yeah, I said, get over it. You know, I was like, you know, I think it's cool, blah, blah, blah. We had a good time, but man, you got to get over it. Life goes on. And I tell you what, I mean, it was like there was a silence on the phone. I knew I hurt her feelings. I said the wrong thing, and I still regret it to this day. It was the truth. She had to hear it, but I probably could have said that in a different way. And right now, I mean, it's over. I mean, she was a good kid. Everything was cool, but it's like, bam, it just fell away. And so, if you are going to do these, you know, father-daughter relationships and nurse things like that, you got to be careful. You know what I'm saying? Because you're interjecting yourself in somebody's life in a role model role, in one of those roles where, and then maybe there was an infatuation there, but you still didn't go. You know what I'm saying? So hindsight being 2020, I don't think I'll put myself in that situation again with the whole youth thing or anything like that. I mean, like I said, I can do the shepherd. I'll help you out, but when it's time to roll out, I think I'm going to hit on down the road. And it's all part of a life lesson, you know? So, I'm getting high on time. I'm going to have to break this down. But yeah, you know, I mean, are people going to hook up on the trail? Yeah. Should anybody be worried about it or anything like that? No, but understand, man. It's gonna overtake you, and like I said, you got the hormones, you got everything going on. I would say if you're a woman and you're hiking alone, you might want to bring a toy. If you're a guy and you're hiking alone, it's gonna happen, homie. I mean, it's just the way it is. All right, out here.